So this is Pikachu, and as you know, Japan is the capital of Pokemon, and I do admire these creatures. I think they are wonderful, and I have all the respect for those people who have created this wonderful platform and which give kids all over the world, you know, hundreds and thousands of hours of joy. Having said that, I do feel that it is important to recognize that there are real biological species out there. In Japan, it is said that the Pokemon were conceived as something of a substitute to real insect studying. And in Japan, studying of insects has been really traditionally popular among kids. And I was not an exception. When I was a kid, I used to study butterflies. And there are real butterfly species out there. In Tokyo, probably there are 50 butterfly species. And all over Japan, probably 250. And so, I do recognize most of them. And, if you look at the real butterfly species, for example, in the nature, then you would notice these subtle changes due to global warming, for example. There are certain species immigrating into Tokyo, so that you would see that certain species are ubiquitous now, which were not seen when I was a kid. So, you do feel these, subtle changes in nature, and they are dependent on certain plants for their, habitat, and it's a really delicate balance between different species that we see played out in a big city like Tokyo and elsewhere in Japan. So it is really rewarding to study all these wonderful species in nature. On the other hand, these Pokemon creatures, Pikachu, Raichu, lizard, and whatever. I'm not really knowledgeable about Pokemon actually, but these are artificial. These are virtual, and although the character design is really sophisticated, I should say that they are not equivalent to real biological species. I mean, nowadays people are so taken by virtual realities and augmented realities and metaverses and so on. And some people even say that these are, realities, and we should really take these virtual realities seriously. Well, I would say that, well, as in terms of industry, in terms of commerce, maybe they would have some impact on how we live. But at the end of the day, it's just a bit of audiovisual information, nothing more than that. If you look at a guy who is enjoying a virtual reality or metaverse setup, all you see is actually a guy with an eyepiece on his head, and that nothing. There's nothing more to that. I mean, there's no rich, deep diversity, associated with that kind of environment, and we should always take note of that. Of and after all, you cannot eat a virtual reality food. And there you are. I mean, you don't have to talk about the brain gut axis and so on. I mean, it's just all common sense. Of a 5-year-old that virtual realities and augmented realities and so on, they are not equivalent to reality. I mean, so I am saying that of course Pokemon is great, and of course people would do well to enjoy these games, and but at the same time, I do feel that we really need to keep active interest in the real nature as well. And the reason why I'm holding this, by the way, I bought this in a Japanese convenience store. Japanese convenience stores are really wonderful places, and you can buy them for maybe something like $3, I think. And so this is a really handy mascot. Oops, to play with when you do your YouTube. But so this is certainly an interesting industry. But I think it'll be a disservice to humanity in general if you claim that virtual realities suffice. They don't. They never suffice. they are substitute, often a poor substitute to what realities are. And if you really look at nature and look at all these wonderful diversity of butterfly species, plant species, insect species, and so on, you would never come under the illusion that virtual reality, whether it involves Pokemon or not, would be a substitute for these things. That's sheer nonsense.